What's up, guys? Today we're going to be having this video, instructional video on your notebook and how to set it up, all right? So I hope you guys already got this composition book. If not, you could buy one from me in class, or you could go buy them at the store, 50 cents at Walmart. So let's take a look at this composition book. First, you need to have your name on there, right? So please jot down your name, okay? So maybe we could put like Pepito Sanchez. Anyways, wait, you don't spell that with the Z. Okay, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is, please write down your name on it, and please write down Algebra 1, Q87. You probably also want to definitely write down the period. Period 2, period 3, period, whatever period it is. Very important that I know the period. We need to have it written in there and with your name, because of course I'm going to be collecting these at some point and grading them. Okay, so let's start by looking at the handouts I gave you and start glue sticking them in there. For example, I did give you the syllabus on the first day of school. Please tape that onto the front cover. Check it out. Okay, guys, so the first thing to do is to make sure that you actually have your syllabus taped to the front cover of your notebook. Front cover of your notebook, okay? So you open it up, and I have the syllabus. Of course, it's folded because there's not much space for it, so you fold it. You could still see both sides of the syllabus, but it is taped across the top. Okay, so make sure you tape in your syllabus across the top on the front cover, and make sure you sign signatures right here, and your parents also right there, okay? That way I know that you guys actually got it signed, or you guys read it and your parents read it. So you should have received this handout right here, the homework log, and what we're going to end up doing here is keeping track of all of our homework assignments, classroom assignments. Anyhow, let's take a look at this. Let's see how it works. So let's say today we have a new assignment. So what we're going to do is fill in 8, what's the date today, 15, 17, section, we're going to be doing 0.2, that's today's section. Pages, we're just going to put handout or worksheet. Okay, so if we did have pages from the book, you would write down what pages, and the problem description, we could write something in here. The problem or description of what we're doing today is classifying, whoops, sorry about that, classifying real numbers. Okay, so that is our homework assignment for today. And after you jot down the date, the section, and what kind of what pages or worksheet it is, and the description. Over here we have reflection, and it's a very tiny space, so you can't really write anything. But for the reflection, you have to select either 3, 2, 1, or 0. Now keep in mind, guys, these are not points. These are just a way to provide a reflection for yourself to see how you feel about the homework. All right, so let's say you completed all problems correctly. You're able to explain it to others that need help. You feel like a genius. You give yourself a 3, right? So you might just give yourself a 3 right there, okay? Now, let's say you don't feel that good. Let's say we check this out right here. I finished most of the work. I understand most of them, but I need to ask for help on 1 or 2 problems. You feel pretty smart. You did most of them. You just maybe 1 or 2 questions that you have on there. So you give yourself a 2 in that case. So maybe it's not a 3. Maybe it's a 2. Bless you. Get it? A 2? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Anyway, or perhaps you didn't feel too great. Let's read this one. It says, I could only do about half of the problems. I definitely need tutoring. I'll show up in the morning to ask for help. Okay, so if that's the case, you're only able to do half of them, please write down a 1 right here, not a 2. Or let's say you didn't understand any of this. What the heck is going on? This feels like it's written in a different language. I'll show up tomorrow for tutoring and every morning for the rest of my life. Okay, that's a joke. But anyways, yeah, I mean, if you totally didn't understand anything, then of course, give yourself a 0 right there. And it's not like you have a 0 points. This is just a way to reflect, all right? And you will get points for filling out this homework log on a regular basis. So this should be taped onto the back cover of your notebook. Again, the syllabus is taped on the front cover, and this is going to be taped on the inside of the back cover. As a matter of fact, if we look at it, I think, yeah, I wrote that right here. Please have this homework log attached to the inside back cover of your notebook at all times, and please fill it out on a regular basis. So let me show you what I mean. So we do have the composition book here. You should have, again, the syllabus on your front cover. And on the back cover, if you go all the way to the back, you should have on the back cover your homework log that we were just talking about. Notice that I taped it up on top only, and you're going to be able to read your instructions there for the reflection, and you're going to keep track of it, and you could unfold it and continue and even go to the back side and fill all that out. So you always want to have your homework log on the back side and your syllabus on the front side. Okay, keep in mind, whatever we do in class, you're going to put it in this notebook, okay? So we always want a title, a date, and a day on each page of our notebooks. So let's actually zoom in here. And so on each page, it doesn't matter what we're looking at, I want to see a couple of things. There's the date and the day. So whenever we do anything in class, in your notebooks, put the date and the day, okay? And obviously we need a title. So today we're going to do, for example, notes on classifying real numbers. So there it is. It's actually section 0.2. I like to underline or even box in my titles. So there's my title, classifying real numbers, and there's my date. And that's how we're going to know, or how I'm going to know what I'm looking at. Whatever page I open up your notebook on, I need to see a date and a day. I need to see a title. That way I know if I'm looking at notes or maybe I'm looking at homework. Likewise, if you have homework that you're doing on here, instead of this title of notes, you're going to write homework and probably worksheet 0.2 or page 12, numbers 17 through 20 something. I don't know. So the title is very important, and the date and the day. We always want to see that on every single page. Title, date, and day. So I also handed out this little half sheet of paper, and what this half sheet of paper is just a self-evaluation tool. So you're not going to use this right now, but maybe a month from now when I collect notebooks over the weekend so I could grade them, I'm going to need you to actually grade yourself. There's a self-evaluation. You give yourself points. So right here, all papers must be secured, glued, taped, or stapled. So like if I pick up your notebook and shake it and papers fall out, you're not going to get this point, right? So all you got to do is make sure that everything's taped or glue stuck in there. And so if you pick it up and shake it and nothing falls out, you could give yourself 1 point right there, okay? The next one says all quizzes and tests must be in notebook, right? So I want to give you back quizzes, give you back tests, and you need to glue stick those or tape them in your notebook, all right? All quizzes and tests need to be in there. Okay, so you get 1 point if you have your quizzes and tests in there, all of them that is, and you get another point if you actually have your parents sign the front, right, where the grade's at, okay? So that's a total of 2 points right there. So let's say you did have your return graded quizzes and your return graded test, and your parents signed them, then you'd give yourself another 2 points right there, okay? The next one, all notes, class openers must be accounted for with the title, date, and day, even on the days you're absent. So if I'm looking through your notebook and you have a title, date, and day on every single page, you're going to give yourself another point right there, right here, okay? Whoops, there you go. Homework. Now notice this one, 1 point, 2 points, 1 point, 3 points. So the big part of your notebook grade comes from the homework, all right? So the homework from the current chapter, I'm not going to go back and check your previous chapter homework, but from the current chapter, you must be complete with the assignment written on the top of the page as well as date and day. Remember, you want a date and a day on every single page. And you must show all your work on each problem unless it's a super easy problem that doesn't require work, right? So let's say you did about half of the homework, or you did all the homework, but you only did half of it halfway through. So why not give yourself, out of 3 points, half of those, which would be a 1.5, all right? Or let's say you did most of the homework, maybe just one assignment's missing. Then you could give yourself 2 points instead of a 1.5 or 2.5. I don't know. If you have most of your work almost all completely done, 2.5, why not, out of the 3? And your homework log from the back cover of your book, are you actually writing down every single homework assignment? Are you doing the reflection points 0, 1, 2, or 3? If you are keeping up with that, then you give yourself another point right here, okay? And neatness. Is your notebook presentable? Is your writing legible? Do you have a title, date, and day on each page? Do you use a highlighter, different colored pens? If you go above and beyond to make it as neat as possible, then you could give yourself 2 points right here. And of course, you're going to add them all up, right? So if you do add up the 1 plus 2, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6.5, 7.5, 9.5. So that would be a total score of a 9.5. Now, if you gave yourself a 9.5, that's an A, all right? Now, I will not grade your notebook unless you actually grade it yourself. But let's say I do see that you gave yourself an A. Well, I want to verify that. If I see that you gave yourself 2.5 points out of the 3 on your homework, I'm going to go and really thoroughly check and see if you actually did the majority of your homework, right? Or let's say you did all of them, you got a 3 right there, then this would be a 10. That would be a perfect A+. And if I do go through and see that everything's true, they finished all the homework, they have a title, date, and day, I'm just going to do this and put down that 10 right there, which is an A+. Right, so this half sheet of paper is only for the days we collect notebooks, but I'm giving it to you now just so you could see how I'm going to be checking for it in the future. So I hope you find this video helpful. Please feel free to comment on Edmodo. I'll see you guys in class.